Saint Germain guides the teachings of this episode to help us to understand how to move through blocks to manifestation or transmute pain, limitations, trauma, anything that we're holding or carrying, that so that we can experience transformation. All of that in this episode. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome to the Charmed Life podcast. This podcast is all about magic, metaphysics, mysticism, and the unconditional love of the universe. And I am your host. My name is Tricia Carr. Hello and welcome. I'm really excited to connect with you today. And I want to remind you that if you are listening to this in the replay or watching in the replay, that this is actually delivered live. And so for those of you who are here live, hi, I can see you joining me. Go ahead and drop me a little greeting. Let me know where you're coming in from, what's on your heart today, because in that connection, we expand. We all expand even more. So I would love to hear from you. And then, of course, if you are watching the replay on YouTube or some other space, I would love to hear from you too. So leave us a comment. Shall we connect that way? I would love it. Well, hello, Angela. Oh, it's so wonderful. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. We are going to be talking about transformation today and connecting that through the portal, through the channel of the Ascended Master, Saint Germain. And Saint Germain I have an interesting relationship with Saint Germain, and that is that I didn't care that much about Saint Germain, and then it was almost like Saint Germain was stalking me, and it still continues to be. I'm totally kidding. Of course, it's not true stalking, and I don't mean to make light of that. But Saint Germain shows up when there is something major. I mean, quite frequently for me. I think the reason that I didn't feel a special connection to Saint Germain is actually the principle that because we have things in common, but we also have things that are different, that it is intended to be like a friendship. Whereas another entity, Archangel Ariel, that I'm very close to, I feel I'm so close to Archangel Ariel because she is like the architect of my oversoul, that it's almost like I don't think about Archangel Ariel because it's like I just am her. It's as if I don't think about my pinky toe on my left foot because it's just me, so I'm not really like thinking about it. And Saint Germain has more differentiation and therefore is like a great friend, a great guide in certain things that are going on. So before we head into how you can experience transformation through, I think a technique, we might even call this, what do you think, Saint Germain? Yeah, he's like, yes, definitely a technique, but also at the same time, it's a modality that is just natural, and it is really how we do experience transformation. What I should probably just chat about who Saint Germain is. Saint Germain is what we call an ascended master. Is a real person who lived on this planet, and there are many different tales or stories or legends about Saint Germain. And I'll share with you what those are. And then I'll share with you my, perspective, or in my channel, my communion with Saint Germain, how those are interpreted in my awareness. Now, does that mean it's fact? No, of course not. Because the only way that something is fact is if we have run it through like a scientific process. And this historical figure, that the tales or legends or archetypes that surround this person, while he was a living human being, those are also other perspectives, right? So I'll share with you those perspectives and my perspective. So Saint Germain was said to have been very magical in the sense that could actually do magic, real transformation, very, very, very much like, what Jesus was able to do, the tales and the stories of the transformations, the magical instantaneous transformations of physical reality that Jesus could do. It is said Saint Germain could do this as well. And Saint Germain was also someone who seemed to not really age. The tale is that he appeared to be in his 30s for the duration of his life, and that people had visitations or sightings, as in they believed he was still living well past what was even appropriate for a human lifespan. So well past 100 years or something like that. While we do have what is that called? Supergenarians, super octogenarian, no, like people who are very old now, over 100. It was very not common at all, almost impossible. But I believe that even those sightings are reported to be even 300 years after his natural life. At any rate, when I've talked to Saint Germain and asked, like, how is that? Did you actually did you, I don't know, break the physical laws, or were you able to circumvent them? Were you able to have an extra long life? And what Saint Germain gave me as a teaching that we can benefit by, again, I'm not saying it's fact, but may be relevant to us, is that Saint Germain became so adept, so skilled at working in the astral, in that his second body or his non-physical body, that he was able to occupy his non-physical body and work in the astral so fluidly that those who were altered enough, even if they were just altered slightly in an inspired or daydreamy state, that they could experience him. And by the way, it wasn't only after his natural life that this kind of astral visitation became apparent to people. It was also during his life that he would bilocate, and that's another tale or legend. And he explained to me that is the sense of bilocating, that his whole physical form was in one place, and then a portion of his consciousness through the astral fabric was in another, so much so that those who were able to be altered enough to the frequency of that they could perceive him, and it seemed as though he were physical. So that, again, is just perhaps relevant and also telling of what we are capable of doing ourselves. So I want to see who else is here. Darren says, sending lots of love. Thank you. Blessings received. And to you as well. Tracy's here. Hi, Tracy. And hello, Day. So nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Oh, I'm so happy to be with you all too. So let's talk about this process that Saint Germain, or modality that Saint Germain has brought to my awareness today. Hopefully something that is utilizable, something that wants to be brought to your awareness. And just a reminder that if you are listening or watching in the replay, or if you're watching live, actually, we have these little breaks of transitions, and you can just use these to take a breath and just know this is us shifting gears and changing to a new segment. So here we go. Actually feeling that there is a bit of a channeled message coming through from Saint Germain. So if you would like to settle in, I'm going to go ahead and let this message come through. We were already communing this morning, so it's probably going to be a pretty easy transition. Important for you to recognize two principles we would like to bring to your awareness, as those who are connecting with this transmission are seekers with great experience. Now, whether this is experiences in this incarnational journey, which many are, others are resourcing their past and parallel lives, including their future lives, that there is great experience brought to this transmission, to this greeting and meeting. And so we speak to the fact that many are on their own journey of self-inquiry and transformation in a multifaceted, multidimensional way. And so you would be familiar with the process, or at least the phrasing of shadow work. And we want to bring to the awareness of this transmission today that all shadow work is work of light, because it is only light that is able to cast away shadows. You see, shadows never overwhelm light. And of course, as you may be doing your shadow working, this is important for us to put in the primary of this study, of this lesson today, because it is important to recognize that the light is always guiding the presence. The light is the concept of awareness. And the reason this is being emphasized as we head into this teaching is to put into the forefront of the mind that there is nothing to be afraid of. And in fact, we ask you to seek out that which you hold fear in. That is what has been put in the shadow, something that you are afraid of. And so we ask you to seek it out with your light. That is the process of shadow work. It is actually taking the awareness to the parts where there is fear being stored within your being, within your psyche, within your psychology, within your nervous system, within your brain, your heart, your gut, and within your auric electromagnetic field. That the sense that you could even ask this question of, what am I afraid of? Or what am I having resistance to, against? That is the grist for the mill. That is the fodder for the finding, is that you can actually summon this up and shine your light on it. Now, the other reason this is important is because while you may bring that up for a moment, the tendency, the conditioning and training and grooming that humans experience is to run away from it. Well, yes, of course, darling ones, because as you were a child, you ran away from the scary boogeyman in the closet, or the large dog who frightened you, or the tone of mom's voice that was saying that you were in trouble and that you might have your toy taken away, or that you might feel some rejection from that primary caregiver. And this is the tendency for a child to run and hide in the closet so that the feeling, the sensation, the scary thing might run away. We're calling you out, dearest child, that you can withstand the sensations for just a moment or so of the discomfort of that which would be icky or resistant in your very energy. We say, there it is, yes, there it is. When you feel the resistance, when you feel the urge to flee from it, we ask you to please stay, because that is where the transformation is occurring. That is the first portion of this. The second portion of this we want to remind you is that you just simply are light. And in fact, in the densest portions of you, in the densest portions of your nature, in the densest portion is where is being held the most light. So where the shadow seems to be covering up something, it is in fact the most concentrated, potent, crystallized light within that. And we have a demonstration that we asked the channel to record in advance. And so we will turn it back over to the voice of this channel for the teaching and for the demonstration. Okay. That was a bit of a setup from Saint Germain. So as I'm coming back, here we go, playing our transition once again. Let's talk about removing obstacles, removing blocks, and finding the things to which we have resistance and seeing that that is the key for transformation. And so this is entitled, we entitled this the message and teaching from Saint Germain that will help us to transform and expand. And we also entitled this the sense of this may surprise you. And that's wonderful. If it does surprise you, then let it keep surprising you. What we want to guide you in right now, and I guess Saint Germain is still, I'm in a semi-channel, even though my eyes are open and I'm kind of myself. We're speaking in we because Saint Germain wants to guide this as the teacher. We would like to guide you in this now. And so if you are in a space where you can let everything slow down and become quiet, and to close your eyes and take that breath, then please do so. But as a reminder, please stay safe. If you're operating heavy machinery, a car, or if you need to be using your conscious awareness, then do this only with a light contemplation of the process. And so if you are driving, you could still take a breath and relax yourself. If you're in a space where you could take a moment to be very still and close your eyes. At any rate, allow this sensation and or visualization to arise within you. That there is a potent, pure, dynamic piece of divine, if you will, of light that is in the center and the core of your being. And this is a pure and potent joy. This pure, potent joy. This is that which is said that dragons breathe fire. It is the fire of joy. It is a light that cannot be tarnished, cannot be diminished. And no matter how it may seem crowded at any time, that joy, that pure and potent, pure, we say once again, the purity of this light that is joy. It is the vitality, it is life force, it is passion, it is anything that you can imagine or sense within you. But we are calling it joy for this exercise, for this re-teaching or remembering to you of this process. Taking a breath And breathing into it, if that is what seems to help you to let this joy expand within. Let this light, let it teach you how it is impenetrable, untarnishable. It cannot be diminished. Let it expand within and move you now. Move you in the sense that it can create this expansion so that as you are not necessarily moving linearly, but you are expanding in throughout the universe. Now, as you are expanding, you're going to be moving through liminal states of fear. Fear, or that which is limiting, or that which is blocking, if you would like to think of it as such, if that helps you. It is also in all of these expanded states and spaces, these dimensions, as you expand this light, this pure potent joy. And as you take a moment to really anchor into this light, this joy, this potency, we also want to ask you to go ahead and ask a question of yourself. Now, there are many different options here, and so just gently let your awareness stimulate what seems right to you. You might ask, what am I most afraid of? And let that bubble up. And it will be the thing that you want to avoid. It will be the thing that you do not want to share in your energy. But guess what? You're calling it up from your energy. It is already there, already sharing space. It is already living rent-free within you. So what am I most afraid of? Another question could be one that would stimulate calling up that one person who is someone that you want to run away from. And this could be someone that you have a sense you were abused by. Now, abuse comes in many different forms. It can be verbal, it can be physical, it can be manipulation. It can be a sense of being betrayed. But someone that if you were to call them to mind, it makes you want to run away and you want to not imagine seeing their face, not imagine hearing their voice, not imagine sensing their energy. And in fact, if this one is resonating for you, we want to bring it to someone with whom you have an actual personal relationship with, because there are figures in your world. You don't have an actual personal relationship with them. If someone you don't personally know shows up, there's probably a duplicate of a person within your life, a personal relationship. So that is another option. What am I most afraid of? And what is a person that I want to avoid? We'll let it rest there because we imagine you can find some kind of representation there. And you are calling up an archetype of a shadow that's being held within your energy, a shadow or a block or a limitation, something that you have come to this meeting, to this session, to this transformative transmission for you, that you would like to let become a part of what you are now alchemizing. This is an alchemical process that you are calling up so that you can transform. And this will lead directly to a sense of freedom. This will lead to a sense of even what will eventually show up as manifestation, either physically or non-physically in your life. And so we're just giving you the whole context now. As you hold this state, we're going to remind you to come back to the joy, the pure potent joy, the light. And as you're expanding, that you're going to welcome up some kind of archetype of the thing of which you are most afraid, or perhaps it is a person that you would like to avoid. And as you bring that up, the more uncomfortable you are in that moment, knowing that you are completely safe, it is only showing up because it is ready to have some transformation. You are completely safe as you anchor into the light. You're not calling this up so that it shall happen to you. In fact, you're calling it up so that it can be released. And you're moving through liminal states as you allow yourself to tolerate it, and you breathe and you let the light just become an awareness that can welcome that in as something that can be moved through the alchemical process of that which is greater, which is your light. And that there is a learning as you allow yourself to just take a moment to tolerate it, and it may shift into something else. Now, you can hold this for as long as you feel anchored in and empowered by, and you feel the illumination of that joy. There is no need to hold it any longer than that. But sometimes when you hold it for a while, it becomes completely neutralized. Now, it is becoming neutralized, at least in shades. And as you hold this, you let the joy expand within and move you through liminal states, moving past fear. This is the Christed path. In Dante's Inferno or in any story of Christhood, of having the sense of the greatest discomfort or pain and allowing yourself to move through it. And then you move through even deeper liminal states of that fear and you come out transformed, because there is nothing that can quench or diminish the pure light of the joy that is you, because that is the light of creation, that is divinity. Now release this at any time that it feels as though you need to get back to the joy. Release it. We're going to ask you now to go ahead and release that state. Now release it. Coming back here. And this simple, in a way of speaking, yet one of the hardest things we can do, one of the most challenging things, let's use a different language for that, is how we can really and truly transform. Now, what happens after this is that we actually slow down quite a bit, because we feel as though we're running away all the time, and us slowing down and finding the rhythm of nature, of cosmos, of life, embracing that as you no longer have to run away from something, because you have alchemically moved past it with the pure potency of your joy. And so I was going to show you this demonstration. Saint Germain asked me to show this to you, and I'm going to share a picture-in-picture, but I'll explain it along the way too, in case you're just listening. This is just me before I went live, and it is me with a candle. And so if you can imagine that my hand that is in a fist is holding within it the thing that I am afraid of, or the thing that has harmed me, the way that I have wanted to put something into the shadow because it is too frightening or too scary, or I can't process it all. And so I'm holding a fist, and as it is inside my hand, the thing which I'm holding as resistance, that is actually the block we sense sometimes. I have a block, I have a limitation. Well, it is the fist that is holding it within, holding it inside the shadow, in a way protecting it from the light of awareness. But you see, as my hand moves close to the light, and the light is still falling upon the hand, it is still able to move into, because just think about it, when you're in the sun, you actually consume light. Light penetrates. Now, you may not be able to see it visually right now, because as my hand is fisted, you think, well, the light can't touch the inner recesses of that fist. But it can, because it moves through the porosity of the material, because light can move through anything. And light it absorbs into it as it is being held there, and it is still falling upon it. So the hand, the skin, the epidermis is receiving the light, and it is moving into, it cannot be held from the inner recesses. So there is grace here that you are calling up. You can do it in a way that you are being very courageous, and you're holding that light of potent joy. And you're allowing it, you're trusting it, and you're being anchored and empowered within it. But even as you're not doing a process as we experience today, the alchemical process of light is always doing what it does. And at some point, as we just did, if you open it up, then all that happens is there is more light received. It is safe, and it is true of who you are. So this is the process in a demonstration that you just moved through. And this is the power of who you are. You don't need anything else. And in fact, your seeking can stop now, because your seeking is really the light that you hold within you. It is the feeling, the sense of your divinity, is the feeling and the sense of you accepting you, of you loving you. That is the light of awareness. And to be able to expand, you see, manifestation isn't bringing something from there to here. It is you expanding to include it. Even though we feel as though we are just this physical form, that we are only this size and this shape. But in fact, your energy, your spirit is not limited to the physical form. It is what is creating the physical form, but it is the expansion of that joy, that potent joy of divinity, of your light, as it expands to tolerate on the foundational level, and then embrace everything and anything that is available. Because the thing, if we feel like I am blocked, it's because over there is the experience I wish to have, is the material experience or the emotional or physical or relational experience I wish to have. It's over there. And I am unwilling to expand to there because there is a point of fear there. There is something that has harmed me in the past, or there's something that I believe could harm me in the future. But your light can create the alchemical process for that to be transformed. And it isn't that we remove blocks. We alchemize them. They become the understanding of how we actually create. They become the wisdom. They become the information that allows us to create. So this is the process that we would like to give to you today. And after this session, if you would journal about it, write down the steps if you would like, and we will recap them now so that you can have a sense of it. And it is to find that pure, potent light within you that we are choosing to identify as joy now. Let it expand and move you. But this movement is, again, expansion, because you are now occupying in a full spherical, if this helps you to imagine it, that is how you are moving. And you are moving with this spherical expansion through liminal states where there may be fear, where there may be that bardo that is what is in the Christhood path of moving into the fear states and emerging as ascension. Because you see, ascension, as talked about much in spiritual circles, ascension is actually going down and within. It isn't leaving. It isn't leaving this earth or leaving this physical experience. It is always anchoring deeper and deeper down and within. Letting the joy expand and allowing yourself to, if you want to be very brave, and open that fist, so that that which is being held, just any representation, any archetype of something that you are afraid of experiencing or afraid of losing, or if it is for a person, but reminding you that the person is only an archetype of your own fear as well, and that they cannot limit you. Then you're able to expand. And then you're able to fully experience that joy, that potent divinity. It's already a reality. It is already a reality if you have the sense of the joy, of the imprint on your heart of that state of freedom and that state of abundance and that state of love. It's already a reality. So all that is left is for you to expand. Expand with that light, and then it will be fully and completely in your experience. That's transformation. All right. Hi, everyone. I want to come back to the feed here and see what's going on here. And Carla says, sending you love and blessings. So happy to finally be able to catch your live. Thank you, Carla. I'm so happy and grateful to be in your energy as well. And I'm going to look at my notes and see if there's anything else that prompts me. Ah, yes, thank you. The word strategy comes up here. That this is actually a strategy that is shifting and changing your neuroplasticity. It changes the way your pathways are wired in your brain. Not only the brain that's in your head, but the brain that is in your heart and the brain that is in your gut. That being able to hold and let this light expand, which is perfectly natural to you, is actually a part of rewiring you. Now, the other part of the strategy is that it brings to mind the idea of strategy and authority as is spoken of in human design. And I want to invite you, if you haven't yet, to please do deepen your experiment of being in the awareness of your strategy and authority as it is in human design. Because human design is this amazing model that really does speak to the way that you function, the way, like, it's like basically a user manual, just like we have with computers. And it talks about, it advises us or implicates to us the hardware, the software, and the applications. It really does. And if we are working against that, then we are burning life force in a way that is not serving our highest benefit. But at also, that we tend to, everyone's strategy in human design, like for generators, it is to respond, and manifesting generators is primarily to respond and then also to inform. Manifestors, it's to inform. Projectors, it's to wait for the invitation. And then reflectors, it's, like we don't have inner authority, but it's basically wait a lunar cycle. And I'm a reflector, just in case anyone's curious. I'm a 5-1 reflector. All of these have really baked into the strategies, including the manifestor, to wait, to slow down. And you know why? Because what we have created is all unnatural. The conditioning is unnatural. But you know what is natural? The earth herself, her rhythm, the Gaia or Schumann resonance, I like to call it Gaia resonance, the heartbeat of Gaia, that is the rhythm that we all are able to be in our highest benefit, our most potent, our most healthy, our most vital. And that is the way that we can actually manifest the thing that is the imprint on our heart, that our soul has imprinted on our heart as our love and direction. And we all need to slow down. We feel pressure to speed up, but we all need to slow down. And in case you're wondering, you do know about human design, why would the manifestor need to slow down? Well, in order for the manifestor to keep their peace, the manifestor must inform. Well, in order to keep their peace, they have to have a sense of what their peace would be, even if it's just, especially as a state. And they need to slow down to make sure that they are informing correctly. You see how it's still moving against the pressure to speed up? And so we all need to we tend to need to slow down and find the rhythm, be in that Schumann resonance. That is ultimately how we manifest health, relationship. We are more magnetic. We can blossom into a fluorescence altogether. In fact, this is happening on our planet in this massive spiritual awakening, is that the nature of humans as the flowering of the earth, as one of the flowering aspects of the earth, are bursting into a fluorescent state in a way that flowers all seem to synchronize in the spring. And that if we are I think we all would love to feel freedom. That is almost like the goal of all goals, to feel free. And that's why we want money. And that's why we want relationships. And they all seem to have this pressure of time. I know that I would love to feel timeless. Even while I can have time as a resource, I want to have time as a tool, not be the tool of time. So having the sense of slowing down, and even if we think about anxiety and depression, and not clinical anxiety and clinical depression, but just as kind of patterns of energy, these two are two sides of the same coin. Depression, the depressive kind of flow feels like we're moving too slow. But you know what's going on there? It is almost an overcorrection of the pressure to move too fast. And anxiety is the pressure to move too fast, right? So slowing down and finding that heartbeat of Gaia, of your mother, your divine mother on this planet, with this planet. As we said in the last segment, ascension is moving down and within. And so let's find her heartbeat now. I want to invite you to just sense the pulse and the slowing and the nurturing and the soothing of Gaia. And if this is for you to go outside and put your feet on the earth, skin to skin, like that skin to skin contact that an infant needs with the primary caregiver, or what we will just use for this time, say mother, the skin-to-skin contact, we need that as well. While there is nature everywhere, even though I'm inside with no windows in this place, there is nature. There is the element of air, there's fire, water, there is earth here. But the skin-to-skin essence of feeling the fresh breeze, smelling the fresh breeze, feeling the sun, the moisture in the air, and the earth to the earth, your flesh to her flesh. We need more of this to bring us into alignment. This slowing down, even though we feel so much pressure to do more and produce more and move faster. In fact, that is erroneous. That is a strategy that makes me want to reference or quote the Fight Club line of, how's that working for you? And I'm saying it to myself, how's that been working for you? So slowing down and relishing life. That is how we can be able to move into that transformative experience slowly. Now, on a practical side, on YouTube, there are all kinds of creators, channels that are offering you tones and binaural beats that will help to attune you to the Schumann resonance or that Gaia frequency. And it's really powerful. So there's a very practical way for you to be able to do that. And Angela says, the slowdown is tricky for me when I let the ego start talking. I'm not where other people are, or I should have done this already, or I am behind. Spirit says, if I stay aligned, I can trust divine timing. Yes, Angela, thank you. Spoken so eloquently. Thank you, Spirit. If I stay aligned, I can trust in divine timing. Yes, because divine timing knows you. Because all of the flowers know when it is time to fluoresce, and so do you, and so does your divinity. Thank you for that, Angela. I appreciate that so much. Yes, and it is dropping down into the earth, the portion of earth that you are that can really help us with that, meaning to ground and drop into the body. Oh, sense of soul. Oh, that's so lovely. So nice to see you. Oh, wonderful. I'm so happy to see you. I was on a Shanna's podcast. This is Shanna Vavra, Sense of Soul, who's coming in here. So if you would love another amazing podcast, if I may put myself in the same ranks of being an amazing podcast, go find Sense of Soul. And we did an episode a while back. So nice to see you here, Shanna. Lovely, lovely. Okay, I'm just tapping in here to see if there's anything else. Okay, yes, they're saying, why don't we pull a card? And I happen to have this wonderful deck here, Guidance from Gaia Oracle. Oh, and as I'm shuffling the deck, this is going to be, set your intention right now. It is guidance for all of us. You can cast into this violet flame as we have, Archangel Zadkiel must be here because that's what I almost said. As we have the Ascended Master, Saint Germain, both keepers of violet flame. We have the violet flame here with us, which we haven't mentioned, and that is what we are also working with. And as we cast something into the violet flame, whatever it is that we're aware of, it is transmuted. It comes back in alchemy, in the process of alchemy, of something even greater. And we are grateful for having had the opportunity to cast it into the violet flame. And so as we are considering that, okay, thank you. They're reminding me some points of business, which is, of course, I would love for you to like, subscribe, share, and click the bell so you get notifications. I go live now for the podcast on YouTube and a few other places. There's our card. I haven't looked at it yet, but there it is. And I'm doing it at this time 3 days a week. So you can come join us live and join the conversation live. And also check down into the show notes, however it is you are experiencing this, and you'll find some free gifts there. Like, I believe you'll probably find an animal and nature intuitive free mini course with like meditations and lessons in there. It helps you to connect with your own animals or with nature in a telepathic communication. And then also there is a higher self crystal pyramid meditation. And in both of those free gifts, they will also sign you up for my newsletter. And that will help. I am announcing things on there. I am about to announce a really amazing course. And all of this that's coming through today is Saint Germain is actually downloading this for me, this course that we're all going to be experiencing. And I have like early bird specials and early registration and stuff like that. And I only announce those on my newsletter. I tend to. Sometimes I also leak them out in other ways. But that's just the best way we can stay in touch. And so there you go. Grab those gifts and join the newsletter community for special things. Okay. Now, oh, this is interesting. So we have as our card, I forgot to give credit to the author of this deck. This is Shannon Kaiser's deck called Guidance from Gaia Oracle. And Shannon is going to be on my podcast pretty soon. And I've been working with the deck for a bit, and I'm super excited to connect with the creator and author of this deck. And so this card that we have is really so beautiful. And I'll turn it around for those who are watching the video. It's Guidance of the Scorpion. That is the spirit animal, the Gaia Oracle who comes forward for us. Guidance of the Scorpion. I examine my own toxic tendencies. I am vulnerable with myself and others. Wow. I think that is really powerful, especially considering the process that we worked through, even like the modality. And so it is the number on it is 32, 3 for communication, 2 for love. And of course, they come together for 5, which is transformation, change, the change that is earned through doing the inner work on the plane. And so here's I kind of matched the card, don't I? I'm trying to get the glare off of it. So for those of you who are listening, it's got a scorpion in it, and the scorpion is like a iridescent blue-green with some magenta. And then the whole ecosystem around the scorpion is also pretty iridescent with rich tones of magenta and teal and indigo and gold and orange and red. Oh, just so beautiful. Wow, wonderful card. I'm gonna repeat the message here. I examine my own toxic tendencies. I am vulnerable with myself and others. Because here's the thing about my own toxic tendencies. They are first toxic for me. Right? And then I can be vulnerable with myself and others if I can examine those. Perhaps use our process to release them. So that is what I have for you. Oh, Shanna, yes. So nice to see you. And 2 manifesting generators here who are Angelas, really? Oh, that's so cool. 2 Angelas who are manifesting generators. 2 manifesting generating angels. I love it. Oh, that's so cool. All right. So I guess that is it for today. And I have a candle here, the candle that I actually used for the demonstration, the video that we looked at about how light it falls upon everything. And reminder that a candle calls in all 4 of the physical elements, and of course the element of spirit, of aether. We have the wax representing the earth element. The wax, as it melts, is also representing the water element as it becomes liquid. We have the flame for the fire. The wick is also representing earth. And then, of course, the fire can only happen because there is air. And when there is smoke, then we are able to see another marriage of air element and earth element, because we can see the movement of the air because there are particles of earth in it. So if you would like to take a moment and you can just imagine that you are anchoring into yourself all that is good, positive, and true from our community gathering here today on this podcast episode. And then everything that is good, positive, and true for you today, this moment, this piece of the divine crystal of the One. And letting it just find your center. Finding the center of your heart, love, that will move you on your path and allow you to expand. And let's take a breath, and I'll blow out the candle, and we will have all of this again from this experience, this communion, this journey today, good, positive, and true, that will come out in a magnificent, magnetic, and marvelous way. And so, if you want to breathe with me, as surely as I breathe, so mote it be. There we are. Now we see the smoke rising it up from within to the above. As within, so without. As above, so below. That's what I have for you today. Again, please be sure to grab those free gifts so you can sign up for the newsletter and be a part of the announcement that I'm about to make. It's a very exciting announcement. I'm teasing it as much as I can. And interestingly, I I'm not saying when it's going to be announced. It may be today, it may be tomorrow. But as a reflector, I have to work with how I sample. And today I'm sampling a generator aura because of the transit field. And so that which I have been building is probably ready for that step-by-step process. That's what it seems like to me today. So I'm just so happy that you're here. Thank you so much for shining your light on our beautiful world. And thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.